ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LBLCS. Tonight we've got an Executive League game. It's Cloud 9, the old Economy League champs, against a new team in the Executive League, Blubalicious, who have a logo that my co-caster Bigfoot has a lot to say about. Go ahead, my dude.
It's great.
Maybe I talked him up too much. He had a little bit to say about it. It's great. He loves it. He thinks it's awesome. We're in lobby right now. We are waiting for, I believe it is the Clown 9 ADC and the entirety of Blubalicious. But in that meantime, we're gonna try to get
Clown
a pro
9
draft
ADC
going.
is on his way back. He had a long day at the circus.
Yeah. He's just juggling too many things right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of balls in the air. But he is unicycling his way home, and will be ready soon.
And
hopefully.
guys, if you're unicycling your way home and you're like, wow, I'm sweaty, I could use a really cold, refreshing drink. Don't forget about your ice cold coriander, the official sponsor of the LBLCS.
Yeah. Yep. So it looks like we do have a pro draft link. So I'm flipping over there. Speaking of, we have sponsors. We have one sponsor, which is Coriander Beer, and then all the other sponsors are just things we make up on the spot.
Yeah.
Wherever the wind blows us.
Right.
Shout out to both these teams for just phenomenal logos. Did you make the Cloud9 logo?
I did not make they made it. They both teams have probably some of the best logos in the LBLCS, hands down. Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any better ones.
Clutch Religion TTV, can you stream our next game, please? You know, we streamed one of you guys in the preseason. We're going to try to stream you next week as well.
What team is that one?
That is OTG Mooks, who 2-1'd Glue Eaters, which is pretty impressive.
Glue Eaters were a high up on the power ranking list.
Hunk of a team.
Just svelte. Svelte team.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that?
Svelte?
Svelte? You are unmuting and muting your mic so much, I feel like it's like a little bit of disrespect to me. Like,
no, I'm just eating.
Just eat. Oh, wait, hang on. We're going to play a game, chat. While we're waiting right here in this lobby, we're going to play a game. What is Bigfoot eating?
Oh, yeah. All right, hang on. I'll take it.
Take a nice, good bite.
Good bite? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Wow. All right, chat. I have no idea, so this is on you guys, because I was like, I could probably help with this one. Nope.
I'll do another one. It's too crunchy for pizza.
Is it the flesh of enemies with a splash of Tabasco? Because I believe that's the most accurate answer.
No, it's actually the flesh of my enemies with some mayonnaise.
Wow.
It's not. Corn on the cob is wild. The fact that you think I'm eating corn on the cob right now is an insane guess. That is just absolutely insane. It's not corn on the cob. It's not pizza, it's not chips. Quiche is a real niche guess.
Is it it's not the thing you told me that you were eating prior, is it? Because I can't guess then.
No, I finished the chocolate bar.
Okay, you finished the chocolate bar.
But we've ruled out, so it's every food is still on the table except for pizza, chips, quiche, taco, corn on the cob, and a chocolate bar.
Does your food have both liquid and solid in it?
Kinda. I'm going to give Zeb a little bit of a hint here. He says a sandwich. I will say that what I'm eating, parts of it could go on a sandwich.
What?
Oh!
Lettuce?
He got it.
You're just eating lettuce alone?
Well, with salad dressing.
Oh, okay, you're eating a salad. All right.
But I have nothing else in the salad. I just had like some romaine
lettuce
dressing on it.
All right, yeah, okay. Weird. Hard to guess, but nice. Good job.
Blown away that it went in the first 10 or 15.
I think there was enough hints, right? Like you said, it's part of a sandwich, and then
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crunchy, way too large. It's just straight up. It's like a container of romaine lettuce. So it's all got the
X-Ranger talking so much smack to the Mooks right now. Or the Mooks? I believe they said it's Mooks. It's like a cow.
Yeah, I guess Mooks too.
Yeah, it's Mooks.
It's like a cow with a K.
Yeah.
And then, multiply it.
True, y'all gonna get 1-0, then quit. It's
Oh
extra
wow,
funny to see someone say that because that is something that
has happened.
has happened.
I'm gonna mute myself for the rest of this.
Not ever to X Ranger's team though. He can feed aggressively and then beat you in 2 games. So don't ever forget that.
Wow, Automod trying to censor you, Rhino here. I won't let it happen.
Unfair.
I won't let it happen.
Wow, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good copy pasta.
It's Jared from Battle.
I'm just kidding. X Ranger's never gotten a kill in his life in League of Legends.
I haven't seen one.
He has the highest KDA because he only gets assists,
Yeah.
and he also gets the most deaths. So his K is very low, but his D and his A way up there.
Yeah. Huge D's. Huge A's.
Huge D's. Now eventually they are gonna start this pro draft, and it's up to me and you really to pay attention to when it does start.
Oh, I mean, I refuse.
That's fine. Yeah, you can definitely refuse to do that. What do we know? What do we know? Let's talk about lineups here.
So yeah, let's talk about lineups. So I would imagine at the beginning of the game, both teams will line up parallel to one another.
Yeah. What else?
The players comprising those parallel lines of champions.
Yeah.
The Blubalicious, it's a new
Blubalicious
team.
is
with some old
three-fifths
faces.
Sensei's right now.
Yeah. So Urano, Ryoklu, and
Muchai.
I do not recognize the name Muchai.
Muchai played the occasional game for Sensei Randos very much as like a fill sub.
Okay.
Played multiple roles for them. And Sensei Randos were the winning executive team of the playoffs. They did not win the league, but they did win the playoffs. Maybe they were fourth in the league.
Wait, what?
Maybe they were different. Maybe they were third.
They won.
Yeah, Sensei Randos, but they won the playoffs. Is what I'm saying.
You mean the league?
No.
You've had it back. Winning the playoffs is winning the league. You mean they didn't finish first in the regular season?
They didn't finish first in the regular season.
Yeah,
That's a more accurate. That's a more accurate statement.
They won the league.
They won the league.
Solar
What
Flare
team won it all on CEO? Solar Flare.
Zelius immediately.
Zelius took no time to answer that question there. They say R on draft. That means it should start up in just a moment or two.
So, like I was going to say very quickly, Cloud9, largely the same team that they had last split, where they really ran train on all of Economy League, and then upgraded, in my opinion, with probably the best Economy top laner, one of the top two.
Yeah.
And moved up to executive. So this is their first game with the big boys since they've moved up. And here's their ADC too. Perfect.
Now they are drafting right now, and
good to see.
They are focusing this mid. When we talked about Economy last year, we talked a lot about that mid jungle synergy that was in Cloud9. One of the reasons they were able to stomp their way through the playoffs, through the regular season as well. Way Too Large and Someone You Don't Know are very, very strong together, and right now, two of their more favorite picks being taken off the table here. Renekton's also going to be taken away for their top laner. Kosa, or I believe it's now Kanoa. Is it Kanoa? Yeah, Kanoa. Has been practicing that lately, or they're afraid of it in some manner. Maybe it could be a mid Someone You Don't Know pick. Cloud9 taking away a lot of safe picks.
Yeah. So, Blubalicious, if you're going to be playing against Cloud9, you ban Rumble and Amumu. Straight up, like, I believe very strongly that you just have to pick those two champions, and the third one, you can be a little flexible. But we see the Ashe picked up first with Caitlyn banned and Senna banned. It's a no-brainer, the best ADC left over. But at the same time, I also still think, especially in executive and economy leagues, that Ashe is the best. It is the highest power pick ADC. And banning the Caitlyn and Senna just makes it that much better. And we see the Sivir answered, which Utsi has played pretty well before in the past. So,
yeah. Although is it Utsi that's in tonight?
No, it's not. Sorry. It's a little Waynick.
It's a little Waynick, yeah. So it is going to be interesting, and Maokai also hovered.
I do still think, regardless, Sivir plays well with their playstyle as a team.
It's also fine into Ashe, especially if you're able to actually block the ult or block the W, negate that slow C or that soft CC and the hard CC if you're able to. The one thing I think that you were talking about is that Ashe is just really good in executive economy, and it's especially good in fives simply because it provides you with more utility for a team, and a lot of times that's something they lack if they're not as able to ward in the places they need to. They can check with that hawk shot
Yeah,
across.
Hawkshot busted.
Yeah.
And we see the Zyra getting picked with it, which is very classic pairing with Ashe.
It is.
And then Nasus being hovered
Oh, I love it.
is fascinating to me.
I really want it locked in. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
wonder if this is real. And I wonder where it's
their
going.
top laner is their diamond player. I will say that on the side of Blubalicious. Their top laner,
All right.
it's locked in. We don't know where it's top or not, because it can go in
It could
multiple
still go
places.
jungle. I don't actually think Nasus jungle is that bad if the enemy team can't really pressure early. And there's the Galio, which makes a ton of sense.
Galio is one of someone you don't know is more favorited champions. Now they're going to have the ban right here. So they're probably going to target whichever player they find more threatening. So whether that's you, Rhino, in the mid lane, or whether it's Ristu.
I mean, you ban, yeah. So I was going to say you ban Victor.
I think you banned you, Rhino, out here. I think that you don't know enough about this new jungler. I think that Cloud9 were able to watch a lot of Sensei Randall's games last split. You know you, Rhino, basically hard stomped through playoffs. Like, this dude rocked the house every single game he played. He rocked the house in the league. He's a phenomenal player, and I think that you need to give this Galio, like, Victor can beat Galio pretty handily. You need to give him safer picks.
Now, I'm wondering, so there are some picks that are, and there's the Syndra ban, there are some picks that are becoming quite meta in mid lane that are really hard counters to Galio. So I'm interested to see what Blubalicious answers with, because while I think Galio is a very strong pick, and obviously someone you don't know is such a good Galio, he's probably the best Galio in Executive. So no matter what, he's going to be very comfortable there. But we see with recent buffs, some mid laners, and I know that there's no really delay on the draft, so I'm going to like dance around this because I don't want to like help a team with draft. But there are some mid laners that have started to rise up through the power rankings that are quite good counters to Galio. And I'm interested to see if Blubalicious, if you Rhino, is someone who wants to, is capable of, feels like
this is
piloting.
Unless this Maokai is support, it looks like they're holding support off for last pick when you're on red side, which I find interesting just from a draft standpoint. They have drafted a very, very team fight heavy comp so far, but they need another damage dealer, I think, here, unless Jarvan is building very differently than we're expecting. And we have seen Ahri supports come into more fashion. We see the Xin and Corki picked up. That's a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
It's a decent setup with Ashe Zyra. They have a lot of CC together if they're able to change
Don't
stuff.
have a lot of...
Nasus has some, right? Xin Zhao has a little bit. But I think that they have way more damage. So if they're able to actually get it out, they will do a lot. Malicious just looking at that Corki saying it's a sleeper. It is.
Yeah, Corki is so strong, and it's one of the champions that I was alluding to. I feel like Corki...
Swain. All right, that's a champion that can do damage, and it's also flexible, so I don't know where everyone's going.
I'd imagine it's support. I think Swain's...
I would also imagine it's support, but I know that they've done unconventional things.
Yeah, so in terms of this draft, I like Blubalicious draft a little bit just because it has more damage and I think is a lot more straightforward to pull off. But Cloud9 also has just a very straightforward team fighting comp, though it is kind of low damage. I think that Cloud9, because Blubalicious targets... By banning Rumble and Amumu and not banning Galio... it forces Cloud9 to pick Galio first rotation if they want it, and it is their strongest team power pick left up. So not only does it let blue side get a mid counter pick, which is really rare, it also means that Cloud9 reveals their sort of playstyle and composition a lot earlier than usually you want to on red side. And if they don't pick it, then it immediately, there's no universe where Galio just doesn't immediately get banned, and then it sort of hinders Cloud9's playstyle a little bit. So I like the way that Blubalicious handled this draft. I think getting that counter pick Corki mid is pretty nice for Galio because it can stay very far back and it isn't really at a ton of risk of Galio just popping in and engaging. I think there are other picks that I would have picked other than that, but I'm not going to be nitpicky about it because I do really like the Corki here. I think Corki's
Yeah,
super
so
strong.
it is going to be the Maokai top here. People are going to lock in their position. I
Yeah.
believe they're not going to lock in how they drafted. So one thing that was mentioned in chat while you were rambling off about correct things is that Zelia says they're just RNG coin flipping for Ocean Soul. Because if the big tanks on the side of Cloud9 can get 3, 4 Ocean Drakes, they are going to be... The fact that they don't have damage won't matter so much because you won't be able to kill them. That's risky. I would say that I really, really like their composition mid-game before item spikes come in for the side of Blubalicious. Because once item spikes come in, if they have even gold, or if they have more gold, the game should be over. They should be able to run them down with the damage they have. They lack a little bit of engage, but Ash still has pretty good engage, right? So,
Yeah.
but if Cloud9 uses their heavy CC with their high damage abilities, because items don't matter that much until you get to like level 8, level 9, then maybe they can force them into a position where, okay, they're winning, they have towers, they have wave pressure, now they can split with Galio, he might be able to match somebody and show up to the team fights. So both teams have different ways they want to play, and it becomes who's able to execute their playstyle better and who knows when they're stronger when.
Yeah. I see. I'm looking through this chat right now. Yeah, so Darkly Lord talking about exactly what I was hoping Blubalicious would pick, which is Lucian mid, which is so strong right now, and probably the hardest Galio counter I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
I
What about
personally
Galio?
also really like. Ooh. Yeah, because if you pick Galio first, they can't pick it at all. It completely
Right,
shuts
that's
down.
probably the strongest Galio counter.
Yeah, for sure. Sever is a 200 BC champ. Yeah, but I don't know. With Senna and Caitlyn banned and Ashe already picked on the other side, like what else do you pick as an ADC? I think Sivir's fine. I mean Ezreal is probably the next big one. You can make a case if you're thinking about the Swain. You can make a case that Jhin is good. I think Jhin Swain is a really strong 2v2, but I don't think it's stronger than Ashe Zyra.
Let's see, not in the game today says C9 sucks.
A little bit of a workplace dispute, it seems.
Yeah, I would not want to be involved in their HR department.
Yeah, Tristana did just get buffed. Jinx is decent here too. Yeah, I think both of those are also really strong. They are a little low on damage, but again, Sivir just dishes out just an ass ton of damage.
I actually really
Heavy
love this.
Sivir also means that you don't have to take cleanse, I guess, if you spell shield right, if you trust yourself to do that. I don't know.
I love seeing Nasus play in fives. I really, really like it because it just gets really interesting. There's multiple ways you can go about playing Nasus, especially up top. I want to see what summoners they pick. I want to see what mastery they've decided to go with. I want to see what they start maxing as well. There's a lot of different theories about do you max E first to help you get the wave clear so you're not pressured so much, but he's not against an aggressive top laner. I mean, Maokai is not passive, but he's pretty balanced in terms of how he likes to play the lane. So be interesting to see how this Fire Flans does play. Obviously, Fire Flans and Ristu are going to be heavily focused by us because completely brand new to the LBLCS from our understanding, unless there's a name change going on that we're not aware of. So excited to see how they play.
Same. I think, yeah, like you said, the Nasus is their diamond player, right?
Correct.
So it is, I don't know, Nasus, it's weird. I think it's actually kind of risky, even if it's your best player, to put him on Nasus because specifically against Cloud9, who is such a good team fighting team. So there is a world where the coordination of Cloud9, if Nasus tries to just split until the game ends, it doesn't matter because they just crush the 5v4 with their team comp.
So I actually want to talk about what chat's talking about right now. Clutch Religion, who's on OTG Mooks, played in the preseason a super CC heavy comp, and they played it really well against Titan Gaming. It was pretty impressive to watch. They all pulled the trigger. They were able to chain the CC perfectly. He really likes the red side composition. I think it stacks more CC. I think he likes seeing that. In this instance, if Xin Zhao and Nasus stack MR, to chew through them, Sivir's going to need a couple items, and it's going to be pretty easy for Corki and Ashe, who technically do two different amounts of damage, right? One is really AD and the other is really AP, to burn through the front line, even though they will be tanky. So, on the side of Blubalicious, you have this team that it's easier for them to itemize defensive items than it is for the side of Cloud9, and I think that factor has to be thought about, especially when you're looking at these comps and how the game is going to play out.
Yeah. Corki can, so Corki can 1v9. I think Corki can 1v9 any game. So, given enough time, NASA scales exponentially. Given enough time, Corki just 1v9s the enemy team. So, we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the skins here. Lunar Guardian Nasus, pretty good. No Xin Zhao skin. Not even going to talk about it. Corki. Depending on the chroma. Actually, even the base skin's fantastic. Oh, and I ran out of time. All right, well, I'm glad that they have Corki. That's a good one.
That is a good one. And it is, you know what? It's not going to be an Ocean Soul. That's the first Drake. And a pause.
And the pause. Pretty classic. It's not going to be Ocean Soul, you're right.
Bigfoot, I want to let you know that Baron spawning in 19 minutes and 55 seconds in this game.
That's so funny you said that, because I was about to tell you blue buff and red buff are spawning in a minute and 23 seconds. Like, the first words out of my mouth after that pause are going to be like, just want to let everyone know.
Just want everyone to be aware.
Stupid piss boy. I like that. I really like it. That really got me. It tickled me. Nasus flash in that level 7 mastery. The man says...
Man likes Nasus.
Yeah, man likes Nasus. So, there are 2 literal dog champs.
X will give it to you. Yeah, that's true. That's good synergy.
Yeah. What's going to happen here? Oh, Ashe's going to hit the W. Onto the Swain. Swain is going to throw that E just into the...
In the wrong way. He thought that Ashe would go the other direction.
Chuck that E out to Guam. When I worked at camp, I had a co-counselor who was a good friend of mine, and every time we went somewhere that felt out of the way or was far away, she'd be like, "Oh God, we have to go all the way to Guam." And I don't know why that's where she picked as like a far away location, but every once in a while it creeps back up. Out in Guam. All right.
Guam is pretty far, even for Kanoa out in Hawaii. Guam is still pretty far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Guam's the other direction. Now I feel like
no, Guam's closer to Japan.
I'm looking it up. I don't think so. It could be. I'm looking it up.
Okay, they're gonna start blue buff. Both teams are starting topside in the jungle here. Chat, if you know where Guam is, post the longitude, latitude for us. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So MC Shading saying in the chat as I tab back over to the game. Galio is a free lane for Corki. That's what I'm saying. Like forcing Cloud9 to pick Galio so early in that first rotation.
So many
getting
pulls.
a counter pick as a mid laner on blue side is like maybe the best feeling ever.
Muchai getting chunked.
Perfect on the bot lane.
Yeah, and Ryoklu and Muchai.
Not only, Muchai. Goodbye.
Got a flash, and the heal does come out as well from the side of Ryoklu, but she might be able to pick up DK Savage first. The heal is also dropped from Lil Wayne. She's gonna flash for the first blood. That's 1 kill over for the Blubalicious. Now they're backing up. Lil Wayne's not gonna go for the kills.
Oh, I think Wayne could have flash Q'd that and picked up another kill.
I think he could have in top lane. Kanoa going a little aggro. Yeah.
Wayne hits level 2, but
way too large right here.
Oh, gets rooted. Oh no, he's falling down. The ignite. One more auto attack. Ryoklu with 2 kills to start the game.
He could have finished.
He's finishing out for a third. Oh my God, is he gonna get it?
Oh, okay.
Okay, the trade back, but oh my God. 3-1 Ashe is not how you want to start this game.
Cloud9 gonna maybe regret how they played that bottom and engage. Maybe gonna want to watch that one back when we put it on YouTube. I think that that Lil Wayne really could have finished some people off, and it looks like...
Oh no, somebody uses E, and here is Jin Zhao. Get the taunt off the Sloam, and a nice out here, but you can take quite a bit of damage.
Alright.
I'm only a lowly gold 2 player, but I'm going to tell you guys, I don't think a 3-1 Ashe starting BF Sword at level 2 is good for Cloud9.
That's a bold thing to say, Cotton.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
I will put a job. I'm going to give you a job. Are you okay with this job? Because I haven't said it yet.
Do I have to count NASA stacks?
Yeah, you do.
Alright.
You gotta count NASA stacks, and you gotta tell me as soon as Corki finishes their call. Because Corki and Sivir both started call in this game.
Alright, but if you want me to count Corki's call also, I'm gonna tell you every time it goes down. 75.
No, wait, hang on, no. Alright, take it back. A nice wave getting pushed into Lil Wayne down
74.
here. I don't want you to count Corki stacks anymore.
73.
I don't want you to do it.
So, I mean, not really. The game's slowed down a little bit. We see Jarvan getting a nice little invade, taking those Krugs away from Blubalicious, but the story of this early game is probably going to be how hard can Ashe abuse this lane now with a BF sword.
Yeah.
Zyra getting back to lane here, and even Ashe is kind of being pretty aggro, pushing up in the lane. We see on the minimap 1v2, and Sivir and Swain both kind of respecting the damage. I don't know if Blubalicious... It looks like Blubalicious knows where Jarvan is. They do. See a little bit of scrapping top lane. Just like Swift Ranger was saying before, Nasus is going to start a freeze, stack the wave, crash huge wave,
and back.
So we see this starting. Now, a nice trade for Cloud9 for a hot second, and then Ashe's volley just kind of evened out the damage over both of them. So, like I said, the story of this early game is going to be the BF sword. Corki falling a little bit low in the mid lane, still has TP up. Hasn't backed yet, while Galio has backed, so it's going to be a little Galio favored, I think, until he gets back. But Corki can play super safe here. It looks like Ashe Zyra are moving up a little bit, autoing out of the lane.
So
the E,
much.
yeah, it's so rough to play into this lane right now. Sivir's doing a good job up in farm, but at the same time...
But Rio got you
now
back
that
with 3
Zyra's
kills
in the
to
lane-
start. Like, that's the...
Right. And they even at the farm with Zyra not in lane. So now that Zyra's here, I really want to see this bot lane push their advantage, because it lets Blubalicious do stuff like let the Jin Zhao solo dragon right now in 5 minutes, which is fantastic.
And Rhino did a really good job of forcing Galio not to roam when he hit level 6 right there. He didn't want him to spot out the dragon. He didn't want him to show up bot lane. He did a good job just poking, sacrificing a couple CS to make sure that he would bother Galio enough not to do it.
So we have some trading going on in the top lane. Kanoa is, just going to auto and heal up. Corki just farming up, down to 53 stacks. Corki farming pretty well here. Rhino doing a nice job here. Galio is going to E forward, just take a tower shot, just to show that he can. Now this is where the BF sword...
Ryoko's doing so much damage right here, and it looks like... she's not going to follow up. That W doesn't hit, but...
But that's the thing, it doesn't even matter if he takes a bad trade because his W is so easy to land and does so much damage. Nice juke onto way too large J4. They might actually be able to turn this. The Galio is coming down, the heal's going to get them out of range, so the Galio is going to mean that way too large gets to live. A decent ult down just to save J4, not to let this Ashe get even more ahead. Corki was backing, so it wasn't the worst time to roam down.
Oh, and Nasus getting really big.
Got flash. Got flash.
He might flash Key right here. I'm expecting him to, unless he gets
I thought he was going to flash over the ult.
He has a sheen.
Yeah.
And he just lowered the armor.
Alright, playing it safe. Look, was that the right call? Yes. Was it the call I wanted to see?
Was it the fun one?
No.
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 Wasn't that fun. Oh, but here, he was waiting. He was waiting for the help. The teleport's going to come in, though, from someone you don't know. He's going to try to get here in time to try to get a taunt down. A nice heal up and a nice flash taunt is going to make sure that they're able to pick up Nasus first. Now Ritsu's trying to do enough damage to finish him off. He's able to get some. Can he get the rest of it? The tower is going to hit, and the kill goes over to someone you don't know. That's a 2 for 1. Really good teleport from someone you don't know.
Yeah, someone you don't know just kind of smurfing on his pocket pick. Like, Galio is absolutely, I think, his most comfortable champion, and we see it here. A nice ult bottom, a nice roam top with the TP, doing a good job playing the side lanes, still keeping roughly even in farm with this Corki, so really nice play from Galio here. A lot of people in chat asking for Corky stack updates. It seems like your opinion about who wants to hear what was wrong. But we have a fight here. Corky caught on the wrong side of the map, kind of going one way or the other. Here's a TP coming in from the Nasus to try to get a
flash over the wall.
But it's going to be a 3v2. The Ignite goes down on a Corky. Nasus is going to juke at E. He's going to go forward. The way too hard. Really low. The Corky with the damage is going to take him really low. Corky's going to fall down. J4's going to fall down. Galio falling very low. Here's the Zyra to help, or the Jinzao to help out. 2 for 1 onto the side of Blubalicious. Corky has 33 call stacks.
How many stacks does Nasus have?
Who cares?
Oh my god, are you gonna tell me?
108.
Alright.
108! And now they're doing a little lane swap-a-rooski.
He's looking for the kill.
We're gonna try to stop it. He might be able to get it. Gets
I think
the
he
flash.
can.
Oh
He's
my
got red
God.
buff. He's got red buff.
Oh no! Smack. Decane has just crushed Sivir. This Sivir is having a miserable time between losing out to Ashe early and just getting soloed by the Nasus. Corky package on the hunt. Jarvan's going to get over with the Blast Cone, but it is going to allow Corky to push up on this Maokai.
He's just going to rotate back to his team right there. A nice ultimate from
quite
Ashe.
low.
They're going to go all the way in. They're going to look for someone down next. They've already picked up Kanoa. Nasus free farming the bot lane while all of this is going on, and looks like Blubalicious want to take this top tower as the first tower in the game. There's still 5 plates on it.
Grabbed by the Swain. He has the W out to stop the Galio Taunt. The Galio Taunt lands anyway. The Q over is going to do so much damage, and Swain is going to pop his ult. Galio's going to try to ult out. He's going to get out just in time, and that's going to be a 2 for nothing out of the side of Cloud9. Can they get more? Swain doing a lot of work. That's going to be a 3rd kill. Triple kill for the support Swain. Galio's going to go forward, gets the taunt off. Can it be a quadra kill? Galio's going to take it. I think that's probably the right decision. But DK Savage absolutely smurfing on that fight.
I get why he's DK Savage. That was a savage fight from him. He was able to absolutely grab everybody with every E he threw out. The claw pulling back, grabbing him. He's stacking up his souls. A really nice ultimate. He played it pretty perfect until he was out of mana, and he already had the red buff at that point. A good closeout from them, as it looks like now you're going to want to stack some MR if you're on the side of Blubalicious over here.
And let me tell you something else.
Another
23 stacks on Corky's call. 21 stacks on Corky's call.
Wow. Wow.
Nasty. 162.
They're going to drop that Rift Herald that they got earlier, though, in the mid lane right now.
As Jarvan pings out the Dragon. So this is a nice play, dropping the Rift Herald, moving down a Dragon. Zyra just gets a kill's worth of gold off of those tower plates. I was very surprised that she got gold from that being so far down on the river. Now Galio's on the side lane is going to buffer the Ashe ult there and sidestep the Zyra E. Really clean from someone you don't know on that Galio.
And is the pick he does like, and Ritsu now getting caught out in the jungle way too large, trying to chew him down, but Muchai is here. Andy's going to drop the ult. He doesn't have it up. There it is. It's going to drop right there. It's going to knock him up into the air, and they're going to rotate back because it looks like Rhino's way out of position. There's 5 of Cloud9. They're going to honk their noses and try to take this dragon right here.
Someone you don't know is so... he's so good at Galio. I mean, I'm going to be honest. No matter what happens this game, win or lose, I do not see Cloud9 getting Galio next game.
I think that it's definitely something you want to take off the table. However... Nasus is right here taking this stuff. And he might not care pretty soon that Galio's good at the game.
Yeah, I mean, Nasus has 210 stacks right now.
He doubled it in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty... Yeah, he's doing... I mean, if I'm Nasus, I'm a little annoyed my team injured away a dragon and gave up a bunch of kills, but I'm also pretty content being left alone for a while.
Okay, so X-Ranger might know this too, but if anyone... They've had to play top lane for a long time.
9 stacks.
I know that his skull is going down. Oh!
Oh no, the wall! He gets the taunt. Can he trade a kill? No, has to flash out. The Aftershock proc probably wouldn't have been enough to get the Zyra, although we'll never
Probably
know.
saved his life, though.
Yeah, for sure.
With that extra armor and MR, the extra resistance.
These two on the hunt. Getting that ward, finding another ward. The value of 2 pink wards. Chef's kiss. You're the jungler. You're so happy that you just cleared 2 pinks. I see a 1v1 happening up here with these 2 meatballs.
He is not going to win this 1v1. Kanoa, you need to
so.
run all the way back to Hawaii right here, dude. You got to get out of here.
Yeah, Kanoa doesn't even have any stacks, and Nasus has so many more.
Bot lane, there is a fight. He's able to taunt underneath the tower, so he does trade 1-for-1.
Swain and Jarvan don't have any stacks either. I don't know what they're trying to do here.
Swain does have stacks, but I don't think he has enough.
Not as many. This is a huge problem. This Nasus is enormous. Just picks up 3 more kills. Is that 261 stacks? Corky 3 stacks left on his skull. 2 stacks left on his skull. 1 stack left on his skull.
Get
Here,
it.
we
Yeah!
go. Anyway, now we have it, folks. What you've all been waiting for. 13 minutes 58 seconds. You heard it here first. 7:38 Wednesday, August 26th. Corky finished his skull.
Way too large down here in the bot lane.
With the EQ Galio Jarvan combo here is gonna knock both of them up. This will be 2 dead Blubalicious. Octopi? Squids? Squids?
Octo-teens.
They're what?
Octo-teens, yeah.
What? That's
when you transition from a human to an octopus, you're an octo-teen for a little bit.
You made it up.
I didn't make it up. That's
Wait,
probably true.
Pause. Did you just say when
Not
you
pausing.
transition from pause. Did you just say when you transition from a human to an octopus?
Yes.
Okay. Please list in as much detail as you're comfortable going into the steps required between human and octopus.
Yeah, mostly limbs. Also the replacement of your brain. Very important. You're going to want to split it up, put it in different parts of your body, so you can think all over the place.
Wait, alright, pause, hang on. Now, second pause, sub-question. Do you think octopuses, octopodes, octoteens have
Octoteens, please.
brains all over their bodies?
I don't see why they wouldn't. And it looks like Ritsu better have friends all over his body because he's going in 1v1 in the jungle. Here comes Zipper. He's going to connect on the ultimate. Ritsu gets the kill on it. DK Savage as the red buff burns him down.
all over his body.
They're looking to push down mid lane right here. The score is 13-13, but 4K upper Blubalicious. They're going to hit down that mid tower.
He got stacks on stacks right now. He just hit 300. Is he gonna go down here? He's got ult. No, he doesn't have ult. Sorry, I lied. Apologize. Both teams pinging out this Herald here. Jarvan pinging out Herald. Nass is pinging out Herald, but also pinging out the Dragon. So I wonder if they're just gonna do a little trade-a-roo.
They could. Both teams got 1 dragon each, so giving up this like 3rd dragon of the game isn't really detrimental because it doesn't put anybody on soul point.
But
if you're able to trade for it, it can be worth it. It depends on how you were able to use that trade. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah. So Nasus is flanking Kanoa here, and he's not going to be able to get this tower. So he's going to do a little skip-a-roo out here. But Nasus has Ghost, but they have Jarvan as backup.
I don't know if they can do enough damage.
I don't even want to get super hyped because I don't think this is going to be a close fight. I'm pretty sure Nasus is just going to smack these guys around.
No, they aren't going to try to CC him.
Clip the E! Wait, never mind. With that E clip, he might only be able to trade for 1 in a 1v4.
900 gold onto Sivir.
Yeah, that's nice. That's exactly who you wanted on. I didn't see the Swain getting there, so a little bit of CC keeps the Nasus from trading like 2 or 3 more kills.
And while these teams are just going to trade objectives, I want to go back a little bit in time and defend my own personal knowledge of the anatomy of an octopi or octopus. I believe that neurons shoot from the brain of an octopi and go all the way down their limbs. So they actually think with their entirety of their limbs as well as their central brain located between their eyes.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little worried about your neurons. Some of you know getting caught out here. Your magic shield.
Yeah, he is feeling the damage on his neurons right now.
Yeah, his neurons have been tough. Always feels bad when you think there's a slight chance you can get out with your E as Galio, and then you just clip the enemy champion. You're like, well, I just got a dump right here, and now I'm gonna die for it. Sivir with an item finished. Ash with an interesting build, going Essence Reaver first and then going into board.
I think that has to do with starting 3-1 to start the game. Right?
Yeah, but I think if you start 3-1, you can get a BF that early. I think you can skip work. I think you just go like IE Runons after
And
the
just burn through everybody.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she knows she doesn't have to be the late game carry. You know what I mean? She had to be the mid game, help my team through it all.
True. And like I said earlier, they don't have a ton of PL on that team. Looks like Jarvan's getting caught out here. It's kind of low. It's going to E out, but the Galio's going to go in. The Ashe ult hits nobody.
And Kanoa's going to lock out Ritsu. They should be able to pick up.
Sivir doing damage, forces the flash of the Zyra. Swain moving forward. Corki on the side is going to pick up a kill. Actually, Ryoku's going to get it, although Zyra's going to fall here. Corki hitting the Scuttle Crab circle to speed out of there. If that snap rolling hits Corki is on the wrong side of town right now. Nasus is just doing
what Nasus does.
Speaking of the wrong side of town, Nasus is depreciating the real estate value of Cloud9's top side quite a bit here.
Yeah, you're not going to want to invest in this inhibitor because it might go down any moment now. It's at least one more auto.
Yeah, real estate prices taking a nosedive on the top side of Cloud9's map.
Yeah, making it look like it's 2008 all over again. As here comes Kanoa going in under Ryoku, but she's able to pick up that Rip Herald before it's able to destroy the tower. And the gold lead still pretty favorably on the side of Blubalicious. They do have 2 Drakes as well, and a pretty commanding tower lead as Cloud9 have failed to get a tower yet.
And a scaling comp.
Comp's
everything's looking up Blubalicious right now. Corki package is up, but he has neglected to pick it up. I think that's smart. There aren't any objectives on the map that are going to be reasonably contested for a couple of minutes, so sitting on that package, waiting until it's a little bit more reasonable, maybe for the next dragon fight or when Baron Vision is set up. Look at the pink wards for both of these teams. This is just phenomenal stuff we have here.
Oh, Fire Plants.
NASA stack check. It's 366.
That's
to be a little bit more.
Like perfect is. That's pretty close for how the game's been going. He's able to pick up another couple stacks right there as he's able to
bring him
smash
to 384.
Down. Yeah. Oh, the Flag Drag hits!
That's the Jarvan Galio combo. They're gonna pick the Ashe, but everyone else gets out. Oh no!
The backside.
Jin's now falling in the back, but so is Swain and Jarvan. Right now, it looks like Blubalicious is going to pick up a better trade on that team fight, and Nasus is still just pushing. This is looking to be kind of disastrous for Cloud9. That fight not only putting more gold into the hands of Corki, but also allowing Nasus free reign in the side lane. Now, Sivir is the only one who's reasonably able to hold this mid tower, so that's going to be a second tower that falls in this sequence for Blubalicious. Third tower, because Nasus just 2 shots it and it's going to get out safely. So, kind of a disaster for Cloud9 in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that's really Blubalicious pushing their lead, pushing where they have a lot of gold. I mean, this Nasus was really, really big. They're
417, by the way.
Yeah, their bot lane has so much damage that Leandrews has been finished on the side of Zyra. They've got now the Triforce on the side of Corki, as well as the Manamune, so he's going to just be pushing through these guys. And realistically, the only people that have like decent gold for the positions that they are playing is that Galio, is the Swain, where they're up against their opponents. Everyone else is down, especially that top lane where he's down about 5k.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. That's brutal. And I don't know what you do about this. I don't... At this point...
You ban Nasus next game.
Yeah, I was talking about Cloud9 being able to maybe take a favorable 5v4 if Nasus just sits in a side lane with their team fighting comp. But at this point, Nasus is so ahead that, first of all, now that Corki's where he is, they might lose the 5v4. Second of all, when Nasus is in a side lane, if they could just kite out the 5v4 a little bit, the game ends.
Oh, and there's the package
package. Huge.
Yeah, there's
really nice coordination from Blubalicious. Even though they died before the Ashe arrow went through, you could tell it was going to hit, right? That was like a very coordinated pick onto the Swain and the Jarvan. It looks like that'll probably be Baron. can't imagine them doing anything else.
They might just push through this bot lane here and try to get more. But Galio's right here. Somebody who knows trying to lock up Ryoklu. He's going to get the taunt onto them. The Zyra ult is dropped, but it's not going to be enough to save her ADC as she is going to go down. Kanoa's now going to try to lock up Muchai, but he doesn't have any help yet. Sivir's trying to run there in time. Will she be able to? Because there are supers pushing onto the base. Kanoa does get him, trying to donate the kill over to the side of Sivir, but she's already run back to the base, so no one can pick this kill up. Muchai might be able to escape. The Wonder escape. The Blast Cone spawned. She's going to use it too late because that W follows you all the way to hell where Muchai is sitting right now.
Yeah, little bit of a sloppy split call. I like the idea that, yeah, Corki Jin Zhao can just two-man the Baron, so okay, send your Ashe and Zyra bottom to create pressure, but they pushed up a little too far, especially into Galio Maokai. That's a lot of CC, that's a lot of engage. I don't really know what you can do if you're Ashe Zyra there. So instead of just sitting and farming and pushing waves, they pushed up a little too far. So not optimal.
Good macro. Good
but
macro.
They do get the
failed
Baron.
micro, right? That's what you're saying with that?
A little bit, yeah. So the call to split there was good, but the execution of it was suboptimal. Right. They do still get the Baron. They do still have it on most people. They're going to want to group. Let me see if Nasus got the Baron. I don't know if he was up in time.
He does have it.
He did. So it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to be 4-1ing anyway, and as long as one person in that group of 4 has Baron in addition to Nasus, then you're all set.
Here's the other thing, though. They are 4-1ing, right? If someone you don't know, or if way too large can get on the back line, CC, and then someone you know ults, or if someone you know can CC and taunt you, Rhino, and Ryoklu, and they win that 5v4 and then can turn on to Nasus, all their inhibitors are up right now, although they might be conceding the bot lane inhibitor because no one's there to help someone you don't know. He's against Nasus all by himself. Here comes 3 people trying to converge. He's going to go all the way in. The taunt does connect, and DK Savage is going to pull him in again right after it, but it looks like he is just chewing through them. There is nothing you to stop because Ryoklu's ultimate is going to hit. Another taunt is coming out, and the flag and drag into the Cataclysm on the backside is going to be able to be enough because 3 have already fallen on the side of Cloud9. There goes somebody you don't know into the ground, but he's going to go back into the grave as Rhino's going to pick him up with Ryoklu. Muchai is going to try to sack their life but flash away at the last moment. They're going to pick up a full-bodied ace perfectly.
This Nasus is just, it's done. Like, yeah, GGs are coming out. That was a huge fight. Nasus ending the game with over 500 stacks, 510 to be exact. Just enormous. I don't know if that was exactly the reason they lost this game, because I think their decision-making was a little bit better down the stretch too, but good lord, that Nasus was huge, and, 1v3'd at one point, so it definitely wasn't helpful.
Right, I mean, looking at the damage charts, Zyra did the second most damage, obviously Nasus up there with the top. You've got pretty good damage out of the side of the Galio, though, which I find not surprising because we saw him get so many kills. I think the big problem was they drafted those pretty much losing lanes, right? Yeah. They drafted Maokai early. They got picked into the Nasus. Nasus like, oh, this is a slow lane. It's not hyper aggressive. I can do well in this lane. Galio they picked within the first 3, so Corki comes out in response to it, is able to abuse it. Bot lane, they got power picks. They got Ashe early, and they immediately picked the Zyra right after. Sivir Swain's probably not terrible into that realistically. I think the big thing was that they just messed up the early game with it, and they overcommitted into that 3-1, and it set them behind, and then all of a sudden you're just chasing the game from the start. And not that they didn't do a good job trying to catch up, they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I think what MZ Shady echoes exactly what you said. The draft 3 losing lane strategy might have to be changed, and I agree. And I don't know where you sort of try to prioritize the winning lane. I think it depends on who Blubalicious decide to ban. If they adjust some of their bans, depending on how they adjust their bans, I think Kanoa could possibly get a winning matchup and a power pick. I think some of you don't know could potentially get a counter pick or a winning matchup. I mean, their bot lane had the opportunity to take a winning matchup, right? Because they saw the Ashe.
Yep.
Pick the Sivir immediately in response. So by doing that, you're not necessarily going to lose your lane, but you're ceding your opportunity to be able to pick a winning lane because Sivir's not going to win. I don't care who your support is. I don't think Sivir X is going to win the 2v2 with Ashe and every other support up, right? So
Right.
if it's just so they pick the Zyra, which is the no-brainer pick there, and immediately you can't beat that 2v2 with Sivir. So we'll see what the adjustments look like now that the teams have swapped sides. We do have Cloud9 getting first pick. So depending on who Blubalicious bans and who Cloud9 bans, I'm interested to see what they've decided is the power pick, the first pick that they want to grab. I don't know if they're going to ban 2 ADCs this game. I think on blue side, I don't know. Banning 2 ADCs feels kind of weird to me if you're not first pick. Because there is a clear hierarchy of ADCs right now in the meta, and it's 3 of them.
Sure.
So, yeah, last picking support is Hella Troll. Yeah, agree. So, I think that we see a little bit of Cloud9's champ pools. Oh, I have to go to spectate. Exposed a little bit in that ban phase because they do prioritize that Galio so hard, and Blubalicious, I would imagine, knows that they're going to prioritize this Galio. So they leave it really as the best option for someone you don't know to pick.
Yeah.
They pick up first rotation, knowing that it's going to get banned second rotation, and you've immediately lost counter pick in what is the most influential lane on the map.
So I think,
especially for a team that plays with a roaming mid laner.
I think something they needed to do was they needed to either take their ADC. I think you need to take your ADC earlier with either your jungler or your top, and you need to give that mid laner or the top laner, depending on who you want to try to have carry the game, pick that last position. Because if you show all 3 of your possible real carries, right? You know, normally Way Too Large has always played this CC heavy, set up the team fight, did a really great job all last season in facilitating these amazing team fights and winning them the league. And then you know what he's going to do. The other team knows what he's going to do. You have 3 people that can carry games realistically and have carried games being the main damage source. If you show all 3 and then blue side gets 2 more picks, it's too easy to counter, as we see Shen being the first ban that Cloud9 is going to go with.
I think Shen is the strongest blind pick top laner here, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
just in general, I think.
Could you have banned Nasus there too? Maybe we see a Nasus come out soon.
Who knows?
Maybe they didn't care about it. Maybe they were like, it got big because we messed up.
Yeah, I don't see, but that's it. Like, I don't think that. Yeah, so banning the Victor, cool. Yeah. I don't want Cloud9 to ban 2 ADCs here. I just don't think it's a great thing. Banning the Ashe makes sense. I think that's the Caitlyn ban. I think you just pick Senna here if your ADC is good at Senna. You also can do any number of things, but I think...
Hey, Mumu.
Oh.
I was going to say it's still up because they banned Caitlyn instead.
Yeah. Okay. So they get the Amumu. And they can get the Galio. But then you still, leave yourself open to a counter pick, and I think Galio is very strong in this meta, also quite susceptible to a number of power picks. Yeah.
Olaf Senna.
I really like Olaf Senna. Amumu is a great jungler if no one bothers him in his own jungle, and Olaf is phenomenal at doing that. So already I really like Blubalicious adaptation here. Gramming the Olaf. Senna being, I think, the strongest ADC left over. They are going to go with the Amumu Galio. Look, they say...
This is their favorite Wombo. They love this Wombo.
We have a style we like. We have a style we're good at. We have practiced this. We're going to run it again. We're just going to do it better. And we get the Amumu, which is a little better. And they do pick the Jhin here. I like this adaptation. I think Jhin is a little underrated right now. And with Senna down, I don't think Sivir's the answer here. I think Jhin is good. I think Tristan is good. I think Lucian's good.
So do you take mid here? Do you take mid here, or do you take your top lane right now? Because
depends.
Right, your mid laner you already have counter, and then you could probably get counter for top lane, assuming that they don't pick it, and they are going to pick their mid laner. Yeah. Syndra's a pretty strong pick into this. I would assume Cloud9 is going to adapt for this Nasus ban. They might not, but look at what's open. Right? I mean, top lane really was a dominant force last game and really carried. So, do you focus on that? Do you not? Like, what conversation have they had as a team? I'm sure they had a lot to talk about since we're on a 3-minute delay. So
So I mean, my personal opinion here is like, look, they're a top laner. They played in a weird way, played through their top, even though he was like he was very rarely in fights. But they're clearly playing through their player who is like quote unquote on paper their best player in terms of rank.
yeah,
So when you have that kind of thing, the conversation I think should not be okay. Let's ban this guy out. It's like he's going to do what he's going to do no matter what. Let's try to win somewhere else.
the blank ban is Nautilus,
Okay, and there's the Nasus.
and
Okay,
OTG.
I love the
I
Swain
did see your
ban.
new logo. I will put it in as soon as possible.
I love the Swain ban there. I think once you see the Jin, you have to start thinking Swain because, like I said before, Swain Jin I think is a really good lane. Ezreal being hovered, does that mean the Senna is going to move to support? I don't love that.
So,
I don't love that.
I will tell you that I didn't think Senna was going to go ADC in the beginning. I didn't want to say it because, well, obviously, we're not really streaming on much of a delay here, and this is a live draft. So, I do know a lot about Rioclu, and Ezreal is one of Rioclu's more favorited picks. I'm actually surprised it wasn't played last game. Ezreal is something that Rioclu likes to go back onto a lot, so when I saw Senna locked in, I was assuming it was going to be support unless they had been working on something new. Thresh Jhin is a pretty strong lane as well.
Yeah.
I think it's bot lane is really more of a skill matchup at this point. Who knows their lane better? Who can work around minion waves? Who can work around XP and how it works? Do we hit that level 2? Do we hit that level 3 first? Are we able to engage? How can we burn their sums? Am I able to predict Ezreal's E? There's a lot of stuff going on in that. So their last pick here should be a big boy.
Yeah, maybe orange.
There it is.
Set, fine.
Let's make sure
I
it's
think the
actually
Thresh
set
is
because it
cool.
did look like it timed out.
Yeah, I think the Thresh is cool. I think I would have liked a Morgana better. Because if you're playing Jhin, you kind of want someone with a little bit more damage if you're playing against 2 ADCs.
So I agree
Fine.
if bot lane was the only thing in the game with Morgana.
Yeah, true.
Yorick's getting picked up for the side of Blubalicious. So the reason I really like Thresh whenever there's an Olaf in the game is because no matter what you do, if Olaf's ulting, you cannot harm his ability to run at you other than doing damage, right?
Yeah.
Morgana can throw a Q, whatever. You can put an E on Jhin, but he's still going to get run down. The Lantern actually lets you reposition in fights, and it helps you out a lot more and be a lot safer. So if the Thresh is playing passively, then it's really good. And I think he has the ability to play passively when you have people, or you have the wombo of that Amumu and the Galio in the game. So,
But I think, I don't know, on the other hand, again, we've run into this issue, and X-Ranger mentioned it in the chat, Cloud9 running another low damage comp. And I think you could have gone an Enchanter support to bring up that damage a little bit because
I think it depends on a lot of things. I think it depends on how Set is going to how what lane they're going to play around really too. I think that their comp is it's burst heavy, right? And late game Olaf, Yorick are not going to die to their burst, but mid game they could still die to their burst. And if they're able to get that lead,
Cloud9 thrives.
If they're able to get that lead in a substantial enough one, if they're able to get the Drakes, if they're able to get the towers, then you can see a change.
I don't know, man. I think
I still favor the side of Blubalicious in this draft.
Yeah.
But in transition, I think that the draft is much closer in this game than it was in the last.
Yeah, I don't know. I just my thing about Galio is I find Galio to be a very, very strong pick. I think when coupled with something like Jarvan or Amumu, it's extra strong because you get that really good wombo. But you need to have it's very low damage. We saw him; he got so fed last game and still fell off a cliff because after everyone else has 2 or 3 items, Galio is just a CC and peel bot and an engage champion. So if you're gonna pick the Jhin, I want something more damage as your support. If you're gonna pick Set, I don't know. I again am concerned about.
I think it's a valid concern. I think it's a valid concern to be concerned about their amount of damage, how much do they have. But Set, obviously, you can build in several different ways. I'm assuming, knowing Kanoa or Kosa last year on the side, he's going to be a Bork. He is going to be someone that's going to try to run you down. He wants to get a lead on this guy. He's probably pissed off that he had to play Maokai last game and got stomped by Anasis come late game. So he's going to want to build as aggressive as possible and run these guys down. And if you're able to grab Yorick and slam him onto Ezreal, Senna, Syndra, get some CC and get a Haymaker off, that could be enough damage right there for anyone else to follow up and kill them. So
yeah. Yo Daddy's Daddy is saying to build Infinity Edge on set. Okay.
build IE on everyone. That's
Yes.
what Yo Daddy's Daddy really wants. That's why he switched to mid lane, so we can build it on all the mid laners. I know your tactics. I think that this game, again, comes down to the teams know how they want to play it. Can they execute how they want to play it? I think we saw not overzealous in any manner from the side of Cloud9. I think we saw them play to how they wanted, but we saw Blubalicious predicting how they wanted to play a couple times, and it threw them off their mojo.
Yeah. So, a couple of points that just came up in chat and also in my brain. One, I'm starting to come a little bit to your side of like, okay, Cloud9 can make this work, because one of the most important things about set is completely irrelevant to matchup, which is a TP flank, right? Set's huge. If you can pull a good TP flank off, I don't care what your team's comp is. I don't care if you can't get to the back line. If you can come in from the other side and pick up the Syndra and slam them into your Galio Jhin, it's the fight's over. I do agree with MC Shady that Red Side has a little bit of a better draft, but I also want to go back to what Clutch Religion said, which is drafts don't really matter. To a degree, I don't think drafts really matter all that much. I think there's a chance that Jhin goes 4-0 in lane and the game ends at 25 minutes. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
So I think that when it comes down to it, draft matters a shit ton, but it's not as influential as the people playing the game.
Yeah.
You could give a team of people who are all worse a much better draft than a people who are very, very good at the game. You give them a terrible draft, and the people who are good at the game will understand how their terrible draft could win the game, and they will utilize it to play to their win conditions, to play around the power spikes, and to push the leads that they're able to push. Right? So, in this instance, this is a brand new team versus a team that won economy. The team that won economy is sticking with their gut. What makes them feel good? What makes them feel safe? All of these people have played these people before. No one is playing a new champion. No one's really branching out in any manner. They have a lot of power picks they like. So I think that favors the mentality of how they want to play. On the other side, Yorick, the top laner who was Nasus last game, just shit stomped the other team and could play overzealous, but also could just be like, oh, I'm just better. I am just mechanically and macro better. I understand the game a little bit better than them, and I'm going to push that to my advantage and use comms to win the game. And I think that the better comp is on the red side, and I think that the better comp probably has a better understanding of how to win the game, and if they're able to use that, I think it should be cut and dry. I think they should be able to go 2-0 in week 1, put Cloud9 in a position where they really have to start practicing more. Could be wrong. Cloud9 could just punch right back and say, no way, we deserve to be in this league, let's show them right now.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things that kind of you alluded to a little bit in terms of like deserving to be in this league, one of the interesting things about Executive is the fact that A, we have 12 teams, B, we have a bunch of teams that moved up from economy, and C, we have a bunch of new teams that are sometimes hodgepodges of old teams. So in this first week, it's kind of just a crapshoot, like what the power rankings are going to look like.
Right.
We did the podcast, me and Swift Ranger and Happy Cloud, a few weeks ago, and we talked a little bit about where we thought the power rankings were for Executive League, but it's all speculation. It's all completely speculative because we haven't seen these teams play yet.
Right.
So yeah, we might see Blubalicious 2-0 Cloud9 in a pretty dominating fashion, but we also might immediately see Cloud9 turn around and 2-0 next week, and Blubalicious just get hit into the dirt for a couple. Like, we don't really know.
There's a lot of uncertainty when you have so many teams and so many new ones, right? You have teams that are pretty much the same. You have teams,
and it's so early,
like Gold Diggers, pretty much the same team. Bill Withers, pretty much the same team. Frank's Little Beauties, pretty much the same team. You have teams
but
that
everything
did well,
else is new.
But everything else is pretty much new.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
75% of Executive is a new team, and none of the teams you just mentioned have Frank Slobides, I don't think has touched their lineup, but they have some people moving around a little bit.
No, we lost one player. We did lose one player.
You lost one player, but you were subbing people out every game anyway, so like it's weird.
Well,
like,
Frank Slobides has a rule: if you can make the game and you want to play, you always will play. So.
Did Gold Diggers? I know Bill Withers had a couple of shakeups. I
don't think Gold Diggers had a single change.
I don't think Gold Diggers had a change. I know. Did Chibi Dragon moved up to CEO? Yeah.
I think he's still on Bill Withers.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we scrimmed Bill Withers and he wasn't.
Oh, maybe he. Well, I'm not sure then. Maybe
he also might not have been around.
He also might have been around. We saw the side of Cloud9 basically trying to predict the fact that they could have been invaded upon. The other team didn't really have an invade comp though.
Yeah, does anyone in chat confirm, deny Chibi Dragon still an executive, non-executive?
Yeah, Chungus, you in here? Chungus captain of the side of. They're also playing against. We have people that were in CEO that dropped down to executive. People like Bondi J-Box.
Johnny Daisy Vindictus. Or,
Daisy.
Shout out Global Gym Purple Cobras.
Right.
Bum. Watch us tomorrow night.
So we've got a lot of changes just in how the league is going to look in general, and I think that no matter what happens in this game, it's not indicative of how the league will go in any manner, or how these teams will place.
Yeah. Man, I just think executive's going to be pretty wild. Nice trade from Kanoa here.
Very good.
Hits level 2 first.
So does bot lane. They're looking for the hook. It does not connect on Ryothu. He should have the play. He does. He's going to hit and try to trade a little bit of damage. A nice play from Jin is going to lock up Ryothu for a little bit longer, but no kill.
Thresh gets chunked out there, but I think that trade is still heavily in the favor of Cloud9. But imagine if that was a Morgana.
You wouldn't have had the second form of CC if it was Morgana.
But like, unironically... Well, no, because she just has to hit her W, and then Jin hits his W, and then she hits her Q.
You're assuming Jin would hit the W.
He did!
After the play! Kanoa getting fun on the top lane. He's going to burn that flash early because the box was around him. He's getting run down, but I don't think it matters. He's actually going to get a nice pull-in right there. Onward to the Haymaker's going to be enough. First blood!
The Flying Hawaiian. I don't know, nothing else rhymes with Hawaiian.
Stylin'.
The Stylin' Hawaiian.
The Stylin' Hawaiian.
It's like a plant rhyme.
Making Olaf dying.
On Summoner's Rift.
Ryan.
Ryan. Man, if only your name or my name was Ryan.
I know, it would have been so good right there.
Somebody you don't know, his name is Brian.
True! We can use that. Haymaker's going to connect on the Fireflames, but it's not going to be the true damage right here.
He's got double buffs and he just hit level 4.
He's stuck!
But he's stuck!
The flash
auto. Right now, Rhino is...
Is there a chat message about...
It says minion block. He just yelled minion block in all chat. So sad.
Very
working as intended. It's gonna be a big set.
Beautiful death
nice
sentence.
And a great W and
Might
a great
just sent to
play.
the death. That's a huge ignite, and they're looking to try to follow it up. Little Wayne might get the last hit, and he does. That's a kill on Ryoklu. That's 2-1. Cloud9 looking to the advantage. Someone you know trying to run away from the gank right here. I think he broke it out with his life.
Whew. Wow.
What
so
a
immediately
death sentence from Thresh right there. Wow.
We see the Jin Thresh have two really aggressive sequences where they put a lot of pressure on them under their own tower, and then when they get pushed back in, they engage, flip them into their own tower, get a nice kill in the 2v2.
That was really nice. It was a nice turn of events because last game, they were set behind from basically minute 2.
Yeah. And now Cloud9 with a 1k gold lead in 4.5 minutes.
Yeah. Now, Fireflies does have double buff here, and Noah just going to try to trade with Haymaker and stuff, but he's up in CS, but he's in a tricky position because he knows Amumu's all the way down to the bottom of his map, and he doesn't have a clear idea where Olaf is. Sure, you could say he's probably back on his ground for his bot side jungle. There's no way to know. They don't have good vision.
Yeah, that's a risky guess if you don't know for sure. And in a comp game like this, in a fives game, that's a calculated risk. That
he's gonna play more passive. He gets locked up into the chamber. He has a full Haymaker, so he's gonna block a lot of damage, but it doesn't connect onto Fireflans. He's getting dropped so low. The Q from Fireflans is gonna burst him really far down, and the little minions might just finish him off.
No. So close. Yeah, those double buffs really doing some work. Really tough. Those double buffs, I believe, those were initially Olaf's double buffs that Kanoa took, and then Fire Flan took right back.
I do like the soul collecting going on in the bot lane. It's like a little bit of a micromanagement from both supports. You know, Thresh's got to pick up his souls, and Senna's got to pick up their little...
Senna's got 16, Thresh has 12.
Gonna pick up the Ocean Drake as well.
Worst Thresh.
Ocean Drake both times to start.
Yeah. Second Drake was Mountain last game though, right? Now it's Cloud.
So it is different. So it could be Mountain or it could be Inferno.
Could be Infernal Soul again.
Could be again. Which,
oh boy.
By the way,
Infernal Soul is pretty scary with Ezreal, in my opinion. Although a nice TP play here.
To help him, he can't.
They might get somebody.
I think he's gonna. Yeah, he flashes over. The cage doesn't connect onto him. Everybody's gonna reset. I hate when you Rhino play Syndra because he's pretty good at it. Although he's down in CS right now, he did start because he knows. He knows he's not going to be up in the front of the line. He's going to be sitting so far back. So he started that Dark Seal.
Yeah, little upset as a Syndra player myself that he didn't go Corrupting Potion here. But, you know, I'm going to live with that. We're just going to have to get over it.
Cloud9 still have a little bit of a gold advantage. Let's see where the gold is really spread out to. Olaf sitting on a lot of the gold for Blubalicious. We've got a decent amount of gold here on this
Jhin.
On Chin, on Thresh, on Galio here. That's sitting in their bank to spend. But you know what? Yeah, Jhin with that kill there, really looking good. So is set up top, and he's gonna get hit all about. Oh, the ult is gonna hit onto him. He's gonna drop it. Can he flash over to the other side? Can he ult him into tower range? It's not quite enough. He's getting burned down by the minions. It was a good ultimate, but it just wasn't enough to pull him all the way in.
So Firefly's doing a good job of coming back in this lane after Ristu donated double buffs to his laner.
Oh, a huge flash
nice
pull in! He's gonna knock him all the way in the air. That's a tower shot that's gonna hit the haymaker. Is gonna connect. Oh, the true damage.
God! I caster cursed Firefly so
hard.
Badly.
Firefly, if you want to report Bigfoot,
yeah, that's on me.
That's on him.
I'm so sorry. That's 100% my fault.
DK Savage looking for another death sentence. He's gonna walk on a ward right now. He doesn't know it. He doesn't have a sweeper in his inventory. In fact, there's only 2 sweepers in the game. It's on the junglers right now. Senna is leading in. Rhino. The death sentence doesn't connect. Oh my god, he's going to stun him up and do a lot of damage. The play might not be enough. A heal is dropped from Lil Wayne as he's trying to run away. W doesn't connect, and everybody's saying, oh, the ult.
Is he just going to use this to clear the wave? There's no one else on the side of the map.
He is going to make it so it's harder to dive because he knows they're coming in. Olaf was on that ward.
Yeah. Now they can't dive. That was a good play. Nice play from the bot lane of Cloud9 to just keep themselves safe there. The cost of a heal and a Jhin ult, they save both of their lives.
Yep. And yeah, we talked about... Oh, wait, hang on. There could be more to this right now. The flash forward, the Flay is going to connect. Way too large is going to hit with his ultimate, and the Death Sentence is also going to connect onto Muchai, who is going to go bye-bye back to the base. They're looking to pick up the next kill on to Ryoklu, but I don't think they can. Ryoklu doesn't have the ultimate up. They already used it. They're able to finish off these kills here. I was getting to the point that Kosa or Kanoa, he's a Chad. Like, deep down, the superlative of the biggest Chad in economy.
Yeah.
He's going right for he went Ninja Tab Eye? He had to. Yorick, Olaf up there pestering him, right?
Yeah.
He goes straight for the board. He just wants to fight. Yeah. All he wants to do is fight.
Yeah. And he gets the heal up off of, I mean, it's very small, but with that extra healing, those punches onto the Yorick Ghoulies are going to help him a little bit.
Yeah, they do help him sustain in laner. They don't pester him as much as they normally would. It looks like Rick Herald is going over to the side of Blubalicious. They're going to drop it onto Ristu, who is on this Olaf.
So I'm wondering, so now at this point in the game I'm looking at the junglers. I'm thinking about, you know, it's still not early enough to start team fighting. There aren't any objectives on the map. Dragon's up in 40 seconds, so I wonder if they're going to start calling plays, setting up vision. It looks like Amumu's pathing topside, and Olaf is also topside. They're both farming Amumu's topside jungle. We're starting to see some pings going over towards the dragon right now.
You know what? Haymaker does connect to the top lane. Fireflame dropping pretty low. He's just trying to do as much damage as he can. He's backing all the way up.
Yeah, using a Haymaker that early.
Yeah.
I think this matchup, I don't play a lot of top lane, but it seems like you have to wait for Fireflans or Yorick to use his ult before you Haymaker. I think it seems like it really sucks getting stuck in that cage without your W up. Because now, I don't think he can get dove unless Olaf gets... No, Olaf's coming.
So Sent does have his ultimate, but Olaf should have his ability to get right on out. It doesn't connect, and he's going to maybe get the kill from a tower shot. No, it's not enough. We're looking at the gold, though, and now they're going to drop the Rip Herald. They're going to get the first tower of the game right here in the top lane. This is massive for the side of Fireflans. He was down pretty heavily in gold. They get the kill. They get the tower. Now Olaf and him are heading gold, but the second Drake is going to go over to the side of Cloud9. They're going to tie up the Drake score.
That's a huge W for Blubalicious.
I agree.
Getting first Drake and a kill is worth infinitely more than an early Cloud Drake, or getting first tower and a kill is worth infinitely more than that. So, well played from Blubalicious. Also good from Cloud9 being like, all right, we lost that. We're still going to take something off of that trade. Better that than nothing. So they do pick up that dragon. Dragons, even at 1 with Infernal Drakes coming up, is going to be another Infernal Soul game.
Right.
The last game, no one got that soul, so we'll see if that matters.
It didn't matter too much. But I will say also, I think a lot of teams, especially once you get to executive CEO, these higher league teams, not so much in economy, but you see people prioritize whether Cloud Drake is ever worth it. And for Cloud9, Cloud Drake is worth it. You have a wombo combo that is your ultimate. It is based off your ultimates, right? Yeah. So having the cooldown lets you play it a little bit safer, lets you have Galio split a little bit more, lets you play a little bit differently, but it's not like it's the soul, right? It's not like you're going to get a bunch of cooldown for it. You're just going to get a little bit. He's 2 levels up.
Some of you know getting chased down by this.
Way too large. Is right here.
Here's the combo. Nope, that's not gonna matter.
Might be able to pick up. No, he won't be able to pick up a kill. He's trying to do as much damage as he can, but it's not enough. The flash is missed. It was late. I think you're right. I might have been lagging right there. I am going to taunt that man about that flash the next time I play against.
Brutal. Olaf with the flash. There's a pause.
He flashed over the wall. Hey, listen. I don't know who did the pause. Who did the pause? This is a perfect time for me to talk about pause etiquette.
They paused. They paused during. They thought. It seems like they thought that Konoha had disconnected.
It was by Cloud9.
Everything seems to be. No, it was a pause by
Blubalicious.
Blubalicious, who thought someone on the other team had disconnected because they weren't moving for a second. But it turns out they were okay. And now,
as it's restarting,
talk about the etiquette.
Never pause in the middle of a fight. That's a death sentence. That's beautiful. They're going to catch it on the Ritsu. That's a good pickup kill right there. A good use of the Ignite. DK Sound trying to go all the way in. A nice Lantern's going to make sure they pull it in. That's a double kill here for the side of Cloud9. They're able to pick it up. But it is inappropriate to pause the game at a time where a fight is breaking out or where a major objective is being contested. A nice flash W forward. Again, let me talk about it again.
So another, this is
a little bit inappropriate with the way the pauses are happening. And I'm gonna who pause that time.
Red again.
Red again. Fireflans taking another 2 tower shots. A nice ultimate here from Galio. Konoha just gonna go in and finish the kill. Good. I'm glad they got the kill.
He didn't need to ult him, but
it was out of just it was a Chad move. That's how he chads it up. Guys, if you are playing a game, do not pause when you're in a fight. Do not pause when someone can die, when an objective can be contested, or when any combat is being broken out, right? Because what it does is it affects the game more than the reason of the pause. If someone DCs, that stinks. Someone's DC'd. You need to back up. You need to hit pause. If someone DC's in the middle of a fight, it's super rough. It can get so difficult. Sometimes other teams will notice it and they'll just spam all chat, pause. Let's pause here. As there's a fight breaking on the mid lane, somebody trying to escape with his life. I don't think he's going to be able to. A nice E gets him a little bit further away, but the Q connects from Rhino. He picks up the kill himself. Now the gold lead is shifted over to the side of Blubalicious, but you can't pause in the middle of a fight. It's just not okay. I'm glad Cloud9 never really suffered a penalty from it. They actually picked up 3 kills due to those pauses. The Flake connects onto Rhino here in the mid lane, and Bigfoot's about to take over because it's spaghetti time.
Yeah, so Olaf running away with his ult. It doesn't look like anything's going to come out of this. A really nice fight from Olaf there to know that he can just shred through that Galio, though. Namumo ult's going to root him as the Olaf ult runs out. Anthar's going to hook with a TP in from Yorick, is going to secure maybe a second kill after that first one. No, it looks like he's just going to run towards Kanoa. The Bork is going to shut him down there. I don't think that TP was necessary, but it was kind of an insurance teleport.
Yeah.
Syndra picks up, I think, 1 kill there, maybe 2, which is pretty nice for her. At this point in the game, a lot of the onus is going to be on Syndra and Olaf to be doing a lot of the damage in these fights until Ezreal can finish a couple of items and Spike with his Finish Sheen item. Ezreal's actually pretty far behind right now. Only at tier Sheen right now.
Yeah.
Syndra, the load of the damage in these fights is going to be Syndra. So her picking up those kills there is really nice. She's got 4 stacks on her Dark Seal. She's finished her Luden. She got her Sork Boots. And Olaf now has Phage, which is a nice spike for him. Nice catch here from Syndra and Yorick. Someone you don't know is going to E out. The stun is already used. He's going to taunt to get some slow. He's falling low, but here is Amumu. Amumu hits the stun route onto the Yorick Ghoul, which I did not see coming.
Oh, nice,
and here comes Set with a kill on the Syndra. Shut down. Olaf falling low as well. DK Savage getting low from that Maiden, but it's not going to matter. And a 2-for-1 in favor of Cloud9.
Blubalicious gets punished for being out of position. They knew both of their bot laners were in their bot lane. They had pushed all the way up into the opponent's blue side jungle, in between a tower they have not taken, that mid-tier 1, right, in the mid-tier 2, and they pushed way too far, and they got punished by the heavy CC that comes with the side of Cloud9.
And I'm going to grab this Herald here, which is probably, I'd imagine, is breaking mid-tower, which is going to really help them just open up the map a little bit.
Yep.
You always want to be the team that takes mid first. It looks like in response, Blubalicious is going to take this dragon. It's about 3/4 full, but Cloud9 making a move mid. A TP from Set into this mid lane.
They want it. They want it. They need to do something, though.
They want it. Galio is here. Does not have ult up, but does have TP. There's the Thresh Lantern. Amumu's going to choose not to pick it up, but they are going to do the inside track of this dragon, and it looks like
both
they're going to be able to take it, clearing out vision. Smites are up, but Olaf just seeding this. Second dragon over to Cloud9.
That's
now has
huge.
Cloud Infernal. That's a huge pickup.
Because they don't have a lot of damage in their comp. They need those. They need those Infernals to become more effective late game.
I like that. Oh, nice double stun from Syndra. It's going to pick up maybe 1. A nice zone use from Thresh is going to buy some time. It's going to hook to buy even more time. Ezreal is going to come through, miss everyone low, but it doesn't matter. They pick the Thresh. Now this is Blubalicious' turn to take the inside track out of this mid tower. Unfortunately, Cloud9's Rift Herald did not take the opponent's mid tower, so Blubalicious is going to pick up mid tower first here and keep on pushing with this disadvantage. Jhin a little late on his back in the bot lane is going to mean that Blubalicious is going to pick up a second mid tower. Yeah,
too large out of position. The flash
stun. That's going to be a dead mummy and another tower. Huge swing in the favor of Blubalicious. Yeah, they lost that dragon, but boy, did they pick up a lot more afterwards. Jhin was a little late on that back. I don't think it would have mattered because Amumu took a pretty rough path back in the mid. But nice play from Blubalicious.
The game should settle pretty soon because Blub's got it back, right?
Yeah.
They have the gold lead again. It's been pretty back and forth. This game has been a lot more even than really we were expecting. However, we know Cloud9 have the strength of this mid game, right? From 8 minutes to 16 minutes, they're really, really strong. They're compact as a unit. They understand their play style and their wombo, how they want to play.
So I have
Now,
3. Oh, go ahead.
Blub could just take the lead, though, because this is where Blub drafted for last game. This is where they are for this game. Syndra, Ezreal, mid-late game can do a lot of damage. Ezreal was set behind, so once he gets on the ball, fights could turn.
Yeah. So first of all, Ezreal is going to be going what's the word? Iceborne Gauntlet build, which is going to be nice for him. Keep that set at arm's length from, honestly, his whole team. So, like you said before, Cloud9 has a little bit of a mid-game advantage. They have these really good wombo fights that they can pick. They have a Galio who has an item and a half finished. They have Jhin who's finished his IE. So they're not entirely on the back foot in these fights if they can land their CC and land their combos. They also have just taken their first tower, so they still have side lane towers up so they can use this mid-game pressure and power to maybe group in a side lane and start taking towers.
Baron did just spawn, and it looks like a lot of people are circling around this area trying to get vision.
I don't think either team has a particularly fast Baron take. I think this is kind of a silly threat.
They're
nice ult
fights.
from Olaf, forced out of that set Ia. That's a trade you're going to take every day of the week is set. Blubalicious' side lanes are in great spots, though. It's pushing top. Galio had to roam mid, so it looks like York's going to take their bot tower. Syndra with the Chad Morellos. Talking about how Kanoa's a Chad.
Yeah.
Morello is second on Syndra. Or, sorry, not Morello's. Magi is second on Syndra. Great Chad. If I do say so myself.
Only 4 stacks right now, but has those 2 depths, trying to sit further back in these fights.
Yeah.
Does have that
this could be a pick here. It's going to be a 3v2, but Galio is around. A nice Gargoyle stone play from Thresh to buy some time. A nice hook from the Amumu onto the Senna. Is going to get Senna really low, and Senna's going to fall first, but Thresh is falling low here. Hook brings in the Jhin with the Lancer. The Ezreal is going to be doing so much work, but nobody from Cloud9 has died yet. Jhin doing a lot of damage. Someone you don't know doing his best to kill the Ezreal and the Olaf. Syndra gets...
Oh! And the big body slam here from Kanoa. He's going all in on Fire Flames. Cloud9 punching right back here.
Look at my headphones, Robert.
In an incredible fashion. They are able to take out Blubalicious, who simply overstepped their boundaries. They didn't understand the ability for them to rotate. And this is what I talked about. This is what I like about the Thresh pick. I love Thresh's Lantern. He ripped Jhin into that fight, got him in the middle after everyone had blown all their spells. Jhin was able to just dish out all this damage safely, then back up, drop the ult, and finish them all off, while bot lane, Kanoa doing a really good job dealing with this huge Yorick right now. So, just really well played from Cloud9.
Yeah, and this is their strength, right? And we talked a little bit in draft about, I don't know if this is the call, maybe they should be making some draft adjustments, but Cloud9 says, absolutely not. We are really good at team fighting. We are so strong in wombo comps. We're going to draft it again. We're going to run it back. We're going to run it right down your throats. And it worked. The Thresh played that fight so well. Galio played that fight so well. Set came in and held Yorick bottom, didn't let him TP in, and Jhin cleaned up. That fight went about as good as it could have for Cloud9, and now even though they're down a little bit of gold, they have this emotional and internal momentum going on right now for this dragon.
Yeah,
a hook on the center
connect.
for Thresh is probably not going to make anything happen because Olaf zones him off a little bit, and they didn't
Who's
quite
a little
have
out of position.
Here's the set flanking! Throws down the Ezreal, who gets rooted by the Jhin W. A hook from Thresh! Oh my god! DK Sap
going absolutely crazy as his microphone disconnects again, and
Yeah,
Ritsu now totally out of position. If this last one connects, it could finish off, and it does! Boom! But Yorick's still splitting on the side. However, this could be third Drake for the side of Cloud9. They're looking to get onto Soul Point. Do they have people backing? Yes, Set is backing. Rhino isn't there. Rhino does have TP up and could rotate there if needed. But it looks like what they're trading is just a Dragon. Oh no, it looks like they're trading a full inhib for this third Drake here. And it is a full inhib. Good job from Fireflans.
Honestly, as long as Blubalicious don't get Baron, that trade for that inhib is totally worth it.
They're
Now
looking
they're
to
on
pick
Soul Point,
Yorick
they're
off.
on Infernal Soul Point. They have people onto this Baron, and they're just going for Baron.
They're just going for it.
Cloud9 accelerating the pace of this game during their power spike.
This is dangerous.
Huge play.
The Death Sentence
Set
doesn't
not
connect.
have TP. The Death Sentence misses. They're doing quite a bit of damage, and Olaf is really far, and Senna is not there. She does have ult, but that's it. Yorick buying as much time as he can, but Senna is here now.
This Baron's so low.
Really low. Olaf's not there, and he has no way to get over the wall until he gets to that blast.
Oh my god, it went to... Cloud9's got it! But they might go all down!
At what cost? A nice Set ult to buy some time. Jhin dies. Set's probably going to die here, but it's way too large. And
tried to flash and get a sneaky kill onto Ryoklu.
Yeah.
but 3 are down. They're going to look
All
to
right.
knock down mid.
So here's what I'm going to tell you.
Pretty even.
That was a fine play from Cloud9, and here's why. There are no objectives on the map right now.
Right.
So this inhib is just a way. Death timers are still pretty short. This inhib is a way for them to just soak up golden XP, and they got the Baron.
Right.
They're 1 on soul point. I don't know if they lose this inhib because Galio and Jhin are going to be up soon.
Way too large. Could sack himself here, though. That's a lot of damage. They don't pick up Fire Flames already.
Himself, they're just going to kill the Yorick.
Easy.
They lose the tower, sure, but Cloud9 in a really good position right now. And let me tell you what, DK Savage smurfing this game.
Yeah, he has shown his ability to play Thresh really, really well. Could be a reason they picked it. It seems like everybody's on really comfortable picks here for Cloud9. I think Game 1 really knocked them into high gear, and now they're loose. Now they're ready to play. And giving someone you don't know Galio twice, I think he realized this game, I don't need to be the one that gets 10 kills. I need to be the one that sets up my team to win these fights. And now that he has a Mumu in the game, he's doing that really well. Look at his score this game compared to last game. I'm sure his damage is probably lower than Jin's and Set's, but
that's fine. That's
he's
what they
playing
want.
it different. That's what they want, exactly.
And I like the adaptation. I like that Set went Black Cleaver. It gives him a lot of beefiness, but it gives him, most importantly, this armor shred. Because if Galio is going to start going a more supportive role, then all their big damage is on this Jhin. And Set's going to need to wear down the armor of the Olaf and to some degree the Yorick so that Jhin can really do a lot of damage in these fights. Because Olaf is going to be diving into the backline, Yorick's going to be sectioning people off in team fights. But I don't know. I have a feeling about Cloud9 this game. Jhin, if he gets rapid fire cannon,
I'll tell you what.
Blubalicious is pretty squishy.
I'll tell you how I feel. I'll tell you how I feel. I think even though the next dragon doesn't mean it's soul, like if Blubalicious gets it right, it's not soul. It is soul point for Cloud9. I think the next dragon really decides this game. Because I think if the side of Blubalicious can stall this out a little bit longer and get Ezreal really online. He's got the haunting guys. He's looking for that Leandry. He's looking for all this slow damage. Back up. Play this team fight the way I want to play this team fight. Then Blubalicious are going to be in this lead because realistically they have a more fluid team comp. They're looking for DK Savage right here. They're able to pick him up into the cage.
It's going to be a huge problem. Stoneplate finds so much time and he's actually going to live. Jin's doing a lot of damage. The movement's really low. He's going to flash forward and try to get the ult done before he dies, but it doesn't happen. Set in the backline. It's going to Haymaker to live for a little bit longer. I don't think it's going to matter. Galio's going to engage, but there's nobody really able to follow up. And Thresh is already so low. Thresh is going to die to Urano. And this might actually be it for Cloud9. Someone you don't know is going to die.
Jhin just throwing out that last bit of ult, trying to slow him down.
They might end the game here.
It was a really clean QSS from the side of Ryoklu when she got taunted. Helped no one on Blubalicious go down. It was almost a clean ace. If you're able to pick up this Jhin here, it will be. Way Too Large is up in 8 seconds. And if he's able to pick up Syndra, I don't think that's going to be enough. He's able to back out. This could be a really tight one. I think this is still the game. I think this is still the game.
Heartbreaking for Cloud9. Although Amumu still has ult.
And they're going to go in. They're trying to pick up that kill onto Ezreal, who's just trying to end the game. Everyone is.
Right under there.
Oh my god, they are the kill.
Can they hold?
Oh my god, they're.
Can they hold? No! 2-0 Blubalicious. Really close that game. And tell you what, heartbreaker for Cloud9, but like you said before, they have shown in this game very clearly that they absolutely belong in the Executive League.
Yeah.
Just one misstep.
One misstep, yeah, and it's all over. And that's the thing that can be a little bit different maybe in Executive, but Cloud9 showing up huge in their debut Executive game here. I think they did a really, really good job. Blubalicious obviously had 3 members from the winning team from last season, so they're going to be a force to reckon with, right? You're going to think highly of them. You, Rhino, Ryoklu really had pop-off seasons. Muchai had the occasional game. So this is a good showing from Cloud9 for sure, and it's a great showing for the side of Blubalicious, who not only have a gorgeous team logo, but also clearly a good concept of how to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. So, Blubalicious starting off strong with a 2-0. That was a close series. Game 2, Cloud9 really, really hung in there for a while. Couple things go a different way. You know, they had it. So, both these teams with a pretty strong showing. Blubalicious, though, a little bit of a stronger showing with the 2-0. A nice start to this nice team with their nice logo.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Guys,
All right.
there is another game tonight, but unfortunately, no meatballs for me. I won't be streaming it. We will get those teams streamed as ASAP as soon as possible. So hopefully in week 2.
As soon as
As soon as ASAP.
as possible.
As soon as possible. Like I've always said. LP Bandits and Joe Exotics are going to face off at around 9 p.m. So if anyone on your friends list and you want to spectate that game, go ahead. Guys, if you want to drop down and join our Discord down here, go ahead. We accept everybody into our league pretty much. We let you play in free agents, grab onto a team, try to play your way into these different leagues, have a good time, get casted, have an interview, have fun. We also post all of the league games onto our YouTube channel, so within 72 hours, your game will be put on there. This game will be put up hopefully by tomorrow. I hope everybody has a really good night, and you know what? I think Executive's going to be a pretty crazy league. What do you think, Bigfoot?
Oh, I mean, I've been saying this. I've been saying this since the podcast. Executive League is going to be wild. Keep your eyes on it.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Everybody, have a great night.
Peace.